It's going to happen by the time that we're 90.
Oh, wonderful. We'll be dead. No one lives to 90, for heaven's sake.
Counting.
Well, I think the last film is obviously the picture is the best here. I mean, it's very professional, great cinematography, great production design, great wardrobe. They paid much attention on the whole film things, and as we see, we were sitting in a very good theater. I didn't hear any sound mistakes to make me out of the film. So I think for the whole production, it's a really professional film. And for the story, from my understanding, maybe I think the director is trying to put more emotion on the coins and the bottles there. And for me, I prefer maybe it could be more like character arcs. Maybe they could have more the break before something like that. When we get to the lady is very old, it could more touch people.
Yeah, for this movie, it reminded me a lot of the movie Up, of how at the beginning of Up, they have the two couples saving up money, but for this one, they were saving up for their relationship, which at the end they couldn't really fulfill, but they still wanted to have the opportunity to be married.
This spoke to me in two ways. So I'm from Arizona. I just moved here to California, and in Arizona, it's a more of a conservative state. And so at the beginning, when she's doing a double glance and seeing if anyone's around, that's still something we do in Arizona. It's not. We've become more accepting as a society sometimes, but in Arizona, you can still find people still looking who's around, because you just never know who's going to come at you for being who you want to be in public. And that speaks to the second part, where it took them 90 years for their love to manifest in an okay way. And I think that sometimes nowadays we forget that so many people have fought for you to have the right to be open about who you are. So it's kind of nice to remember that there are a lot of people who have already paved the way, and to honor that.
100%. That's what the penny. That's the metaphor of the pennies, right? Saving the pennies, keeping the grind going, keeping the consistency going.
Millie, please don't.
No. Hey, just look at me.
This last movie made great use of music to actually convey the mood of each and every scene, relied less on dialogue compared to the other three movies. And I felt that actually contributed to it feeling more like a complete feature film in that shortened time format.
Yeah, this film really only has two scenes in it. It's just like the scene in the beginning on the bench, and then the scene 50 or 60 years later. It's very simple, but it's very impactful.
This is a comment more about the whole act. I know we're talking about the last film, but I like that there's just a general diversity within this act, like age diversity, diverse set of characters, diverse set of gender identities, and I really appreciated that. I wish, I guess, to your comment about giving the audience what we wanted, I wish the other woman had lived long enough for them to actually, got married. But aside from that, I really appreciated it and I enjoyed the film.
Cool. But you can also, like, spiritually, they did, right? But I know it's kind of a corny response, but in a way they did. They did what they achieved what they needed to achieve.
I thought that there was a lot of very compelling kind of glances between the two main characters that were establishing how much they were in love with each other, but I would have loved more dialogue between them, because they obviously had a bit of a rapport and they were both very clever and a little bit sarcastic, and there's a little bit of humor in it as well. But I felt like a lot of the first scene was just kind of looking at each other, and I think it would have been great to have a little more dialogue.
I have to disagree with that comment. I actually liked that there was not a lot of dialogue, because we as human beings mostly communicate through expression, and too much dialogue sometimes could just lose the authenticity of it. And that's
Cool.
what I liked about it.